Hello everyone. Today we are going to see about basic human rights. Myself Miss Halunde SS, Assistant Professor, Department of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering, Sharad Institute of Technology. Now let us see about welfare and empowerment of women and legal provision. In our Constitution of India, fundamental rights are involved. Article number 14, equal rights and opportunities for men and women in the political, economic and social sphere. Article number 15, prohibition of discrimination on the grounds of sex, religion, caste, etc. Article number 15(3) empowers the state to take affirmative measures for women. Article number 16 provides for equality of opportunities in the matter of public appointments. Directive principles. Article number 39 enjoins the state to provide an adequate means of livelihood to men and women and equal pay for equal work. Article 42 state to ensure the provision for just and human condition of work and maternity relief. Fundamental duties. Article 51 VAE fundamental duty on every citizen to renounce the practices insulting, that means degrading to the dignity of women. Financial accountability. Article 151 reports relating to the accounts of the union and states to be prepared and placed before the parliaments and state legislature respectively. Equal Remuneration Act 197, equal opportunity, equal treatment and equal wages. In that, appointment of authorities not below the rank of decide labor office to hear and complaints. In that, inspectors to conduct investigation and ensure compliance with the act. Advisory committee is notified for establishment for increasing employment of women. This is all related to Equal Remuneration Act. Next, Maternity Benefit Act in 1961. The National Insurance Maternity Benefit is paid to insured women who are away from work as a result of pregnancy. The benefit is comprised of a weekly payment of a maternity allowance. It is to a maximum of 14 weeks paid in a lump sum. Maternity leave benefits should be availed by the eligible female worker either before or after the actual period of delivery in a continuous and uninterrupted manner. Maternity leave can be used as a combination of prenatal and postnatal leave, provided that postnatal care shall not be less than 60 days. Next, women specific provision in the labor laws. The Factories Act 1948. Under that, section 34 provides that the state government can lay down rules prescribing weights that may be carried by men and women. Next, contact labor. In that, abolition and regulation is involved. Acts and rules about that. Separate provision of utilities for women and fixed working hours. Though these laws have proper implementation mechanism, there is no provision for monitoring the effects of these laws on women. Allowance for special provision for women have often proven to be disadvantageous to their employment opportunities. Next, participation in decision making process, representation and reservation on decision making bodies. In that 73rd and 74th amendments to the constitution providing for reservation of seats for women in panchayats and municipalities. Access to legal service. How we are going to assess that legal service for women? Just we are see. The Legal Services Authorities Act 1987. Title here. National legal services involved in policy making and making recommendations, creating legal literacy and awareness. Legal Service Authority functions providing legal service, conducting legal aids programs. District Authority. Family laws. In family laws, laws relating to marriage, divorce and inheritance governed by laws of the specific community. The test of the validity of these laws to be made on the touchstone of Art 13 of the Constitution. A number of positive amendments have been brought in the last year. For example, removal of an upper limit on section 125 the CRPC place of filing divorce proceedings, women's right to stay in parental as well as matrimonial home as per Domestic Violence Act 2005, etc. But a lot remains to be done, especially amendments to Section 6 of the Guardians and Wards Act, recognizing the equal rights of mothers to be appointed guardians. Prohibition of Child Marriage Act in 2006. Marriageable age for the groom to be 21 years. Marriageable age for the bride to be 18 years. A groom, his parents, relative and priests involved in a marriage with a minor girl to get 2 years imprisonment and rupees 1 lakh of fine. Section 13A of the Act prohibits mass child marriages on certain days such as Akshay Tritiya and states that district magistrate shall be deemed to be child marriage prohibition officer. Probation officer. Next, domestic violence. Criminal laws. Section 498A. Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005. Recognition of the right to residence. Provision for the appointment of protection officers and the recognition of service providers. Training for protection officers and judges. Awareness creation. Budgetary allocation. Sexual violence. In that, sexual harassment. Under that, urgent need for legislation on sexual harassment, institution of mechanism to address instances of sexual harassment and training of functionaries appointed. Rape laws. Need for change in a rape law, especially with regard to recording of evidences and the provision of effective justice so that victims are encouraged to report such offences. Offences means crime. Need for a law to deal with child sexual abuse. Legal awareness about violence against women. We must know that in India, The following legal provisions are made to tackle FAR. First one is a Dowry Prohibition Act 1961. Indecent Representation of Women Prohibition Act 1986 to take action against sexist portrayal of women in the audio-visual, print and electric media, pornography and cyber porn. Prevention of Immoral Traffic in Women and Children Act 1987 to crack down on prostitution. Commission on Sati Prevention Act 1987 to fight widow burning and its glorification. Supreme Court Directive Against Sexual Harassment at Workplace 1997. The Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques Regulation and Prevention of Misuse Amendments Act 2002 to stop sex selection at pre-conception stage as well as of an unborn fetus. Domestic Violence Act 2005. These are all under related to violence against women. What about that Indian Penal Code? In Indian Penal Code section, nature of offence are categorized as below. In that, 304B is related to dowry, death or murder. Next is 354 is related to criminal assault of women to outrage women modesty. 366 is related to kidnap, abduction and marriage of women by force. 366A is related to procurement of a minor girl. 366B is related to import of girl from a foreign country. 376 is related to rape. 376A is related to intercourse by a man with his wife during judicial separation. 376B is related to intercourse by a public servant with women in his custody. 376C is related to intercourse by superintendent of jail remand home with women in his custody. 376D is related to intercourse by any member of the management or a staff of hospital with any woman in that hospital. 498A is related to husband or in-laws subjecting a woman to cruelty. 509 is related to word, gesture or act intended to insult the modesty of women. These all clauses related to Indian Penal Code for women. The Immoral Traffic Prevention Amendment ITPA Bill 2006. Decriminalizes prostituted women, penalizes buyers of prostituted women, critics of SITA, that is Suppression of Immoral Traffic Act in Women and Girls, and PITA means Immoral Traffic Prevention Act, implementation of laws. In that, appointment and empowerment of the statutory authorities at the central and state level. Preparation of policy statement by such a statutory authorities enclosing clear guidelines on the manner of implementation of the laws such as code of conduct to be followed by functionaries, provision of a best practices, etc. Evaluation and auditing the effectiveness of particular laws and the periodic publications and submission of compliance report with a central statutory authority. Upgrading the quality of statistics maintained on women, each statutory body to conduct yearly surveys in their particular field. Implementation of law, continuation with this. I section says sustained interaction between different governmental agencies to promote multi-agency working. J. Allocation of adequate budgets for the proper functioning of statutory authorities. K. Constant monitoring and auditing of accounts by a central authority. Next, L. Submission of financial reports to the Auditor General for it to be placed before on the floor of the Parliament or state legislature as the case may be. This is all about women rights in our Indian Constitution. Thank you.